Hi, I'm Carol Howell with Let's Talk Dementia, and today you have clicked on the very first episode of our brand new YouTube video series. Each week we will produce several videos that will help you in your caregiving journey. We hope you will click on them and in just a few minutes gain some really good caregiving tips. And we hope that along the way we make you giggle and smile a little bit too, because we know if you don't smile, oh, it's not going to be good. And you know what? When you're not smiling, your loved one's going to pick up on that. So today we are going to explore some caregiving topics, and especially we're going to talk about what is dementia. Everyone thinks that dementia and Alzheimer's are the same thing, but they're not. They are not the same thing. And that comes as a big surprise to a lot of people. And so that's always the first thing I try to help people understand. So when I first meet with a client, I will often ask them, what type of dementia does your loved one have? To which they'll go, well, it's just regular old age dementia. Well, folks, there is no such thing as regular old age dementia. That's kind of like saying, well, regular old age cancer. And we know that doesn't exist, and neither does it with dementia. So what is dementia? Well, dementia is the inability to think clearly that affects the activities of daily living. Well, we all have moments where we can't think clearly. You know, when you scratch your head and you wonder, what am I going to do about that problem? And you have no clue how to fix it. That's the inability to think clearly, right? But did it really affect our activities of daily living? Well, I guess that would depend on what you do every day, and that's probably different from what I do. But the activities of daily living are actually broken down into 5 categories. I started to do this, but that would be 10. Just 5 categories. And those 5 categories can be remembered by the acronym BEAD, which is B-E-A-D. But wait, that's only 4. That doesn't work. Well, as such is life, there's always something to mess up my plan, and it messed up my acronym too. So that 5th letter is a T. And I'm going to tell you what that 5th letter does besides messing up my acronym, is it messes up life in lots of ways. So that acronym, B-E-A-D-T, helps us remember the activities of daily living. You can remember it by bead, like the beads on a necklace. So the B stands for bathing. We all bathe. Some of us like to do it in the bathtub. Some of us rather shower. Some of us want to stay in the shower till all the hot water's gone. And you and my family, you know who you are that do that used to run my water bill up. But B is bathing. But when we have dementia, we might not want to bathe. Sometimes getting in the shower is scary, and actually getting in the bathtub as a senior citizen is dangerous. So we learn about bathing when we are experiencing good dementia caregiving. So the B stands for bathing. E in that acronym stands for eating. Well, we all eat, and we all eat different things. What I had for breakfast, you probably did not have for breakfast. And I can about bet you what I had for lunch you didn't have. By the way, I had this food called kitchery, and if you don't know what it is, I'm not going to tell you, but you can look it up. But I'll bet you didn't have it for lunch. But we all eat differently. But we all eat, do we not? And when we have dementia, eating becomes a problem. Now, why is that true? Well, eating can be a problem because we forget to eat when we should, or we think we haven't eaten when in fact we have. We will leave a meal and within just a few minutes wonder when it's time to eat again. Eating becomes a problem, and it becomes a problem in a lot of other ways. So B in that acronym stands for bathing. E stands for eating. Well, the next letter is an A. What does the A stand for? It stands for ambulating, moving from point A to point B. Some of us walk around on our own strength. Some of us use a walker or a rollator. Some of us use a cane. Some of us use a wheelchair. We have power scooter. We can zoom around really fast. One day I'll have to tell you about getting the power scooter stuck in the dressing room at Walmart. That was a hilarious story, but we'll talk about that another day. Ambulating, moving from point A to point B becomes a problem when we have dementia. Becomes a problem later in life for a lot of us, but especially when we have dementia. Why does someone with dementia lean forward when they're walking, and what can we do to help them? So B stands for bathing, E is eating, and A is ambulating. Well, the next letter in our acronym is D. And D stands for dressing. Oh my goodness, that can be a problem. You know, you go to pick your loved one up for Sunday church and you're going to the 11 o'clock worship. Now, we're not going to contemporary because there we could wear blue jeans, but the 11 o'clock worship, well, you got to put on pantyhose for that. You know what it is. But there you go to pick up Mama and she's got on shorts. Oh my goodness, we can't wear shorts to church. And what if you go pick them up and they've got their bra on the outside of their shirt? Well, you can't go off looking like that, right? So dressing becomes a problem. What do we do about that? How do we fix that problem? B is bathing, E is eating, A is ambulating, and D is dressing. And I told you that T was going to mess up everything, and boy does it ever. It stands for toileting. You know, you get through with lunch, you wait a little while, you start watching The Price is Right, and you decide it's time maybe to put your loved one on the potty, see if they need to go to the bathroom. And you get them in there, you go through all that process of getting them on the potty, and they do nothing. That's just exactly what my dog did this morning when I took her out to pee in the rain. She did nothing, and it frustrated me, and it frustrates caregivers too. Then you get them off the potty, you get them put back to finish watching Price is Right, and the next thing you know, you're what is that smell? What's going on? And you realize what should have happened in the bathroom has now happened in the living room. So now we have a whole nother set of problems to deal with. I told you T in my acronym would mess up life, didn't it? So B is bathing, E is eating, A is ambulating, D is dressing, and T is toileting. And when you have the inability to think clearly that affects at least 2 of those 5, your doctor's going to call it dementia. So that's dementia. But what we need to know before we leave the doctor's office is what are we going to do to find out what kind of dementia that our loved one has, because all dementia is not Alzheimer's. There are over 200 reasons someone can have dementia, and we in future episodes will be discussing many of those. We're going to learn about reversible and irreversible dementias, and we're going to talk about good caregiving techniques. So make sure you stay tuned, and together we will learn, because we believe knowledge brings power, power brings hope, hope brings smiles, and we all need more smiles. Blessings and smiles on your day. With every episode, I always want to give you something to make you giggle, because I believe if you don't giggle in your caregiving journey, your top of your head's going to fly off and flames are going to spew out, and you are not going to look good like that. So I always want to make you giggle. I often get jokes and funny stories from this book called Laugh Yourself Healthy by Charles and Frances Hunter. Kudos to them for putting this book together. Get yourself a copy. But here is today's funny. This is a church bulletin announcement. It said, Bertha Belch, a missionary from Africa, will be speaking tonight at Memorial Church. Come tonight and hear Bertha Belch all the way from Africa. Well, that girl needs some Rolaids, don't you know? I hope you have a good day. Keep smiling. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. When you subscribe, you'll be able to stay up to date on our latest videos, and all of the videos are free. Check out my book, Let's Talk Dementia. It is available on Amazon. The link is in the description below. Blessings and smiles.